Now, there's probably other people who aren't me who would melt this on some toast. I talked with one of them today, and I don't disagree with them. I don't have any toast at the moment, and I want cheese. I want this cheese. Arr. See, I love going to the Oregon coast, you know. I think it's one of the most prettiest coasts in all of America. I'm pretty sure about that. Rawr. Rawr. Yeah. The Oregon coast is one of the prettiest coasts in America. The water is too cold to swim in easily. You can jump in it, and that's cool. And they could easily set up like things with I think they could easily pump with solar power, even on the Oregon coast. And the pumps only go when the sun's on enough. They could pump salt water up into pools of salt water that empty a lot and refill daily, so they're very clean, right? They're very clean places. And that they could actually hook up evacuated tube solar hot water heaters. I'll slow that down for you. Evacuated tube solar hot water heaters. In Oregon, even. Even though Oregon is maybe not known to be a sunniest place, right? It's okay. Those things are real efficient. God fucking. Might have to make a rule against eating in bed. But this cheese is so good I can't help it. You know, and my bed is lonely. Oh, so lonely. But not anymore. Now that I got this cheese. Anyway, you could easily use evacuated tube solar hot water heaters to heat a variety of types of spaces on the Oregon coast. From the coast up to the mountains and stuff. It's actually a really good climate, but it's too fucking cold. On the beaches, you could actually maybe heat pools of salt water. If you did the math right, the engineering, then you could actually have it so that people could go to the Oregon coast and sit in warm water, which is one thing that as far as beaches go, like, you know, I've gone swimming in places in Mexico and it's like a pool. It's so nice. You know, it's really just lovely, wonderful. I don't think other people, considering the tourism rates, other people already know that. Where I live isn't quite like Cancun, but it's pretty fine. In fact, it's great. So, even places here, where I live, in Michoacan, they could actually make solar hot water heated pools and have hot tubs and stuff. People like hot water, you know. There's hot springs in the world. People love hot springs. So, with evacuated tube solar hot water heaters, they'll happen anywhere in the world. My favorite idea of where it should happen is right here. So I live here. And it's cold in the winter. And, you know, I barely shower because it's annoying. I don't like to. I have an evacuated tube solar hot water heater. But my objection isn't that there's not hot water. The water's so hot it'll burn you. It'll scald you. I mean, the efficiency of these things is insane. They're dangerous. But that's not why I don't do it. It's because it's far away and I don't like to. And, you know, if I don't have anybody in my life to keep clean for, then why should I? And I should have a hot tub anyway. So, hot tub would be way better Oh my God. So I'm just eating this block of Tillamook cheese. Ah, it's so good. It's a total waste of cheese because I could use this in recipes. It's like a drug. I gotta put this cheese away or I'm gonna die or something. I'm gonna overdose on cheese. Jesus. And I got it's like cheese in my bed. That's not the correct bed element. Chips would be bad, worse bad. I mean, less chips would be less bad. Mm. 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 Oh my God. All right, so what else are we talking about? Was there a discussion going on? I don't even know. I don't care anymore. I will save this cheese for later. Um, and I will enjoy it greatly. Oh, the flavor lingers on. It really does. Oh, so I don't know what's so good about their cheese. Am I just biased because I went there with my dad and stuff, or are they better cheese objectively? Like in a competition, would they do better in a competition about cheese? I don't know that. I'm surprised. I'm very surprised that I can find this cheese in Mexico, rural Mexico, in a tiny store. Like, tiny, tiny store. It's only letting like two people in at the time during the pandemic and shit. So, uh, yeah, I bought this cheese for 300 pesos. And times are tough for me right now. And I bought it because I wanted it for 6 or 7 years. I haven't had it. In my ideal world, I would eat it every year, a block of it. In my ideal, actually, I wouldn't just eat it like this. This is ridiculous. I'm just pigging out on a hunk of cheese. I guess it's better that a cheese as valuable as that should probably be spread over meals and things. But my personal cook isn't here at the moment, so I guess I will be the Brian that I naturally am, which is to do a little too much of things, too much. Very few people know me well, but those that do know that I do things more than they do, generally speaking. While still trying to be a nice and pleasant person. So, anyway, that's enemy eating cheese. I have no idea why we're making me like a little video about me eating cheese, but I was very excited about it. I guess that was why I was so excited, and I still have more cheese. I ate like I don't know 6 of the cheese. I'm not sure. A lot of the cheese. And I have so many thoughts about luxury and where things come from. Like when I make this video, do you even think about like, well, where did this cow come from and how did its milk get collected? And this is also it's a Tillamook cheese, which is from Oregon, and so it got shipped all the way down here. And so I paid for the gasoline to do that. That's part of my ecological footprint. It's the cost of me living in the industrial world is I get to enjoy a luxury cheese, which for here it's luxury. It's from far away and it tastes good and it's different. Or if you try a cheese from France, or where your wine came from, or where does your apple come from, or your fruit, and all the things. And so I start to, wonder about the big footprint on that. And this one, the reason I don't buy it is because it's from far away. Now, the Mennonites up in northern Texas somewhere, Sonora or something, they make cheese too. I could have bought that. Would it have been as good? Would this have been a better video if I would have bought both and then did a taste test? That'd be great. Except that's really rude because they're not trying to make the same cheese. They're making different cheese. They make a cheese you like, And so, I kind of want to visit places that make cheese. Like there's one here in Michoacan called Cotija, I think it is. And I would like to bring them a sampling of cheese, although you would think they would be cheese aficionados and taste it themselves. But I'd say, okay, what are the reasons you don't make this kind of cheese? Now, that's a little strong of approach. So maybe first it's best to say, hey, I brought you some cheeses to taste because it's very fun. And here's some wine or something because that always is fun. And so then, make them think, okay, well, how could we increase our cheese culture? Which is a fun word to use because culturing is cheese, Cheese making, you culture it. And so, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of what can be done to increase cheese culture in local places where I live so I can have more local good cheese. And it isn't that no one makes cheese. In fact, actually, I know a guy who makes cheese. And he uses goat milk, I think. So maybe I should actually just ask him. I'm a very polite guy, so it seems like a rude question. Like, hey, how come you don't make what I want? But I want what I want, and I'm willing to pay for it. And so maybe I'd be helping him out by saying, hey, why don't you make these kind of cheeses that do this kind of flavor to my mouth? And that'd be okay. Maybe that's not impolite. Oh, well, I'm so tired. I'm drinking water. And it's been a great day. I did not record it. I decided not to record it because I feel like it. I recorded a tiny bit of it. There'll be a couple clips. But, I went to a place in a car and stuff, and I wasn't that scared. I don't like to go in cars, but I felt okay. And it wasn't a trip for me. I was just riding shotgun. Although I didn't have a shotgun, which is very disappointing if you're riding shotgun. But that's okay. It was all just fine. There was a few traffic hazards, but nothing in anything extreme or even all that unusual for here. So, and nobody got anything bad. So, what is this? Report on my day? What am I talking about? I'm gone. So, good luck to you. Thanks for hanging in there with me in my strange life. I am still having a lot of difficulty existing. So, if you can help out with that, great. I would really appreciate it. More than you could possibly know. But if you don't give a shit, then don't. And I'm sure you give a shit about other things, right? We all care about something. We put our energy into something. If you're not putting your energy into something, then what are you doing? But anyway, if you do have any extra energy, I'm not kidding around when I say I need it. These are tough times. And maybe later there'll be these amazing times and you can look back on this and say, I helped create that. That'd be cool. Anyway. Yeah. I have mixed thoughts on all that. Yarr. Okay, so it's been about a half an hour since I didn't eat any of this cheese. Because I posted an Instagram post saying I liked the cheese, which I didn't tag very well, and they're not paying for me, they're not paying for any of this or anything. They don't care if I like Tillamook cheese, although somebody buys it in Pottsboro. I'm at least one customer, but I'm a bad customer because I don't buy very often. If this was a sponsored video, that'd be cool if they could arrange to give me some Tillamook cheese or store credit in a place where it sells it. But, is anybody really going to buy Tillamook cheese if they watch this? I don't know that. But I'll tell you this. Um, I love the Oregon coast, and so the time I went to Tillamook Cheese Factory was when I was going down the coast with my dad, and my mom, and my brother. And excuse me. Now that's technically a wasted cheese because it was too big of a bite. Now, the way I'm eating cheese right now is a total waste, but I never do it. I'm almost never guilty of it. Um, I could try and defend myself, but my overall ecological footprint is so low that I don't feel very guilty if I commit a few sins, like eating a big block of cheese. And I understand the whole big issue with dairy and meat and cows and everything. And that's why I don't do dairy, actually. Well, that's one reason I don't do dairy. I think dairy is very expensive ecologically. I think it's a little weird. Like, I mean, apparently I drank my mom's milk out of her tits. And that's fine. That seems normal, I guess. Not to me now. But it feels like, animals should drink the milk of their mom, and you shouldn't necessarily keep their mom in some weird state of perpetual lactation for your lactose amusement. Which I'm currently eating the product of, by the way. It's so good. So yeah, I don't choose to do that, and part of it is because I don't feel like getting up and milking something. But then there's the question, and this is a great question that a person like me can ask, I hope, in a nicer way than an asshole vegan can, because, oh my God, they can be such assholes. But maybe dairy, the way it's done in industrial systems, is not that great. My question is always this: if we're going to have an interaction with an animal or a person, or is it a net positive relationship, Like, I think that even if PETA thinks that it's bad to have pet animals or something, my pack of dogs is critical to my survival. They're part of my life. They're part of my being. And it's not all perfect at all. It sure as fuck isn't. But, neither are my human relationships. So, I suspect, and I propose, I guess, as a thought for anyone who's listening, except the vegans. I mean, you guys are already so fucking asshole fuckers. I'm happy to support vegans, I really am. But don't be an asshole, okay? So, I do propose that we, meaning you who's still listening, oh, Jesus, so good looking, that we stop doing meat the way we're doing it. And I don't say that as a conservative or liberal. I do say that as a little bit as an ecologist, I guess, a person who cares about the environment. But, animals have had an immense place. Animals, non-human animals, herbivores have had a great place in the entire ecosystem and have been very important for it. And that's a slightly controversial topic. But it's, like there should be a bunch of them if things were balanced. Let's just say that. And I think anybody from any position of wherever the fuck you think you're coming from, that that you can agree that there should be a lot of wildlife. I think we can all be pro-wildlife. I don't think there should be any difficulty about thinking why that would be. Like, and I worry most about the oceans because they used to be so full of life and whales and all this stuff, and their total biomass of living organisms, excluding perhaps some kind of cytoplasm thing or something, but whales and octopi and fish and the ones you like and the ones you don't care about, they have probably died off about 90%. Now, somebody else can check my data on that. I don't care. But the point is, we appeared to have murdered the ocean, and now we're just sticking in the final blows to kill it off entirely. And when it collapses, when the ocean collapses, that is fucking it for you and your children and grandchildren, but you may never get to grandchildren. I mean, it is serious shit. We have systems that if we flip the wrong switch, then everything dies. And we are playing with a lot of switches right now. Those are the big ones we don't really have control over. If we kill the bees, things like that. So, we do have control over it. It's just we have no control over ourselves, I guess. We are not going to stop doing what we're doing. And nobody I've ever heard talk, ever, in any kind of talk, has told me how they're going to stop that. A few mildly depressing people have told me we can't stop it. And I might be one of those people. And I might be a person who says we can stop it. And I have some ideas about how we can do it. And I'm not getting paid by anybody. I'm desperate as fuck. Sorry. I'm not supposed to curse, am I? Because that damages something somewhere. I do not know of a single organization in the world that is working to change climate change or stop climate change or to stop the extinction of every animal, which will lead up to us. Okay? And there's multiple problems. It's not just like one thing. So you can't just say, you can just say if you're a dumbass, you can just say, I don't care and I don't know and I don't believe in it. Okay? Right now, as a person who has spent my whole life, and I'm not right, left, anything, I kind of hate everybody, actually, and I'm a good thinker, and I got lots of books, I've been studying my life, I'm really not your enemy, but I'm going to say something you don't like, and that is that everything we're doing right now is killing ourselves after we kill the planet. Someone just kills ourselves first. Sperm count's down, fertility's down. That's actually a good thing. And I'm going to lose some of you right now. That's okay. I would actually like a population of the world. I have utopian weird visions. I would actually like the population of the world to go down to about 2 billion people. I think that's kind of our maximum we can do and support the world as it is in terms of culture and knowledge and scientific development. And we could actually do better, like every single kid could have enough resources because there were fewer kids than there were caretakers. It's a ratio of adults to children, okay? In other words, because we're already having aging populations in multiple places, right? Germany, Japan, etc. And so we need to import youth. What are we going to do when we have to have a world? We have to have a world in which we're decreasing growth. And if we don't do that, then it's going to decrease on its own in violent ways. So I'm not saying kill anyone at all. I'm saying we could have a better quality of life for these children who are less children per adult, okay? Because we're already going in that direction. Like a bunch of my friends, they have, their grandfather had 12 children and stuff, or 8 children, and this is all over the world, and so the reproduction rate is decreasing, and that's a good thing. Now we have to learn as a society, and this is especially important ecologically, how we can learn to have less people, which less people doesn't completely exactly equate to less consumption, because a small minority of the people I come from, United States people, European people, use a very large percentage of resources, while the rest of the world uses much less. Now, that's actually way more spotty than it sounds, and it makes a cute graph, but actually it's different people around the world use different amount of resources, whatever. Let's not get too wrapped up in that. Let's find us all guilty and figure out, okay, how can we change our value systems? This gets into weird shit that I think that everybody cares about the soil. Everybody's caring about where our food comes from, and not just like caring theoretically or posting things on Facebook, but what are you doing to wonder about how we can design cities? I mean, we have 80,000 people. No, wait, 8 million people? Is it? No, 8 billion people. 8 billion people? Is that it? Living on the coastlines. Some of the coastlines are going to become more volatile and flooded. And so those people are going to move. We're going to have environmental kind of, escapees. What's it called? Environmental. We're going to have a fucking mess. That's what we're going to have. And that's because we've designed things with old ways, and it's totally cool. Lots of old ways are great. I'm a big fan of old ways and new ways. And the problem is that climate does change. I don't give a fuck what you think about it, but it does change. And I live in a place, Mesoamerica. I moved here partly for climate, because people have lived here a long time. So whether it's a hot age or an ice age, if I use the right simple technology, I can survive here. If I use the right simple technology, I can teach my friends, my neighbors to survive here. Because I can't survive alone. That sounds very sad. And then can I teach an entire culture, regions, the world, to actually live in a better way? And that's how nuts I am to think that I can do that. And I can do it. I mean, it's really simple. If you're shitting in clean water, first of all, you're kind of the enemy. You're a dumbass, okay? Or your society's a dumbass, or the people around you are dumbasses. So, sorry, but you got to figure your shit out and not dump it in clean water. It's against the rules where I come from. I left that place. And I could have fought, and you can fight too. Now, that's just one thing. But there's a whole bunch of other things you could do to make a better world. And I can get philosophical in different directions, and I'm going to be doing this later. Because apparently, I do give a shit, actually, still. I don't know why I would give a shit in this world. Very few people do. And a lot of people are very mean and stuff, and I think maybe they're just hurt or something. I don't know. I'm not going to get into their stuff, and I don't care about woo-woo bullshit. But as far as the ecological things go, like, I'm on these groups where people are caring about climate change, and they're saying, you can't take personal action. That doesn't matter. And I do not agree with them. Your personal action is the most powerful, important thing you can do. In whatever ways you can do it. Like reducing your consumption is an obvious one if you're in the industrial world. There's a lot to be said for, I think, and this is a whole nother topic, figuring out our social ecology, our social caring for each other. That it's such a complex topic, and it's so messed up around the world that I'm not sure I want to address it right now. But I really hope that you're taking care of the people around you as best you can. Consumption is only one part of it. Ecology is only one part of it. And if we can't figure out the social end, we're still not going to want to live in this shithole. So how can we be nice to each other? How can we be empathetic and stuff like that? But that would have to be a whole nother video about, I don't know, cross-cultural anthropology, religion, faith, ethics, empires, oppression. So I can't do all that right now. But I hope you enjoyed whatever you saw in this video. I have already forgotten what it was about. I think there was cheese, wasn't there, though? There's cheese sitting right here. Oh, fuck. I mean, in one night, could I eat... How many pounds is that? What would happen if I eat like 2 pounds of cheese? Oh, I bet I'd be very happy. Very happy. Cheese is the path to enlightenment. Oh, there you go. So, is cheese the path to enlightenment? Are. Is cheese is cheese the path to enlightenment, or is it part of oppression?